Hello and welcome to our tiny house build. Today's video is the first in a series of videos on the interior fit out of our tiny house. We're starting with the shower recess. We'll be using Hardy's Villa Board wall sheeting, so we'll go through the installation of that and getting to the point where we're ready for waterproofing. The rest of the series we continue on with the ceiling and the wall sheeting, and we'll show you quite a few special things with that. So join us as we continue our progress on the build. We've just finished installing all of the insulation. Makes a huge difference to the look. Most important thing is we're ready to start getting some wall sheeting. Terrible job, but very necessary. So I'm going to start out by measuring the inside of the walls for each wall and then the height. So we're coming down, what we're doing is we're bringing the sheeting in here and right down to the bottom, and then we'll leave a gap at the top. We're going to put silicone along the bottom to make sure that it's sealed before we water treat, before we do the waterproofing. So we need 2055, and then along this side around about the same, 2055. So if we cut our sheets to 2055, that should be pretty good. And then on the width, this is a 900 shower cubicle. So we'll just check that all the way along for our first sheet. So it looks pretty good. We have our sheet set up on some trestles, so now we're going to measure and cut the sheet to length. So we want 2055. We'll grab our straight edge and get that cut. Okay, that's the first sheet cut. I've brought my sheet in, so what I'm going to now is measure where the studs are so that when I've actually got the sheet up with adhesive on it, I can then know exactly where I can draw a line to put my fixing screws. So we've got 295. And 745, and then on the very edge of the sheet, obviously we've got to the center of that stud is 25, and then just to keep it consistent, I'll measure from that side, so we've got 880 to the center of that stud. So now all the way down, I know exactly where I can put my screws. When I come to doing this sheet, I've obviously got to measure for my tap mixer and then for my shower head. So I'll do that as I come through and do that sheet. This sheet is fairly straightforward as well, in as much as all I've got to do is measure where my studs are to put the sheet up. We'll run a bead of silicone under the sheet around the bottom edge prior to actually lifting the sheet in, and that way once we've got the sheet fixed, the bottom is sealed. We'll tape and joint all the corners, and then we'll run our waterproofing right through the complete shower. I've transferred my marks that I measured for where the studs are on the wall over to the sheet, just to make it easier to get the screws in. So now what I'm going to do is run a bead of silicone along that back edge, and then we'll use a very high grab adhesive onto the studs. We'll get the sheet in, and then we can screw it off. You notice the X's on the studs there, that's where we've run electrical wire through. So I've also marked that to make sure that we don't go and put any screws in that area. I'm just getting ready to get this last sheet installed in the shower recess. So I've got to put some sealant along the bottom and then some adhesive on the studs, bring the sheet in, get that on, get that screwed off. I'm just marking the location of my studs so that I can put screws through and pick up the studs. Don't need to do it everywhere because I don't need to do it everywhere because I've got lots of adhesive on the sheet. Okay, that's our sheet attached. So we'll just come through now, tape all the joints, mud them, fill the holes, waterproof, and then we're ready for tile. Unfortunately, that's all we've got time for today. So if you liked the video, please be sure to share, like and subscribe, and join us for the next video in the series on our interior tiny house fit out.